Good morning, I'm James Gruber and welcome to the morning report for Thursday the 2nd of April. Well, the markets overnight continue to be buoyed by US President Donald Trump's comments that the Iran war should soon end. Mr. Trump is due to give a primetime address to the nation at midday Australian Eastern Standard Time. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese gave his own primetime address to the country last night. He urged Australians to use public transport and said the war's effects would last months. Let's now take a deeper look at what's happened with Aussie futures, commodities and currencies. The ASX is poised to open positively, with index futures up 0.2%. As for the ASX 200 yesterday, it closed at a 3-week high, up 2.2% to 8,672 points. The gold sub-index jumped 7.3% after shedding 24% in March. And the broader mining index gained 5.2%, with BHP and Rio Tinto adding 3.5% and 4.3%. Banks lifted 1.8%, recording their best intraday session since February 12. Given the lead from overnight markets, today could be another positive day for the ASX miners, though energy shares could again struggle after a stellar March. Moving to commodity markets. Global oil prices fell on Wednesday after Donald Trump said America will end its war on Iran fairly soon. Brent crude settled down 2.7% to $101.16 a barrel. Base metal prices were higher on Wednesday. Copper futures touched 2-week highs, up 0.7% on hopes the war will end. Meanwhile, aluminium futures advanced 1.4%. Gold futures extended gains on Wednesday on a softer US dollar. The futures settled up 2.9% to $4,813 an ounce. Iron ore futures extended gains, supported by tropical storms in Australia and an ongoing pricing dispute between China's state-run buyer and BHP. Futures settled 1.4% higher to $107.51 a tonne. Let's now take a look at currencies. The Aussie dollar was last trading up 0.3% to 68.18 US cents on selling of safe haven currencies, including the US dollar. Let's go back a step to see how Wall Street and other world markets did. The Dow Jones index was up 0.5%. The S&P 500 was 0.6% higher, while the Nasdaq index added 1%. Wall Street rose on Wednesday, building on their biggest one-day gains in nearly a year, after President Trump's comments suggesting an end to the Middle East conflict could be close. Oil prices fell, pulling the S&P 500 energy index down 3.9% to an over 1-week low. Airlines jumped, with the passenger airline sub-index up 1.7%. Technology shares rose for a second session, up 0.9%. Intel gained 8.5% after plans to buy back Apollo's stake in its Ireland factory for $14.2 billion. Chip makers were the biggest boosts, with the semiconductor index adding 1.6%. Micron Technology, SanDisk and Western Digital climbed over 8% each after a favourable broker report. Meanwhile, reports suggested that SpaceX confidentially filed for an initial public offering, sending space stocks higher. Intuitive Machines gained 6%, Planet Labs was up 9%, and Rocket Lab added 2.7%. Eli Lilly jumped 3.9% after the US Food and Drug Administration approved the drug maker's weight loss pill to be sold under the brand name Foundayo. Among others, Nike slumped 15% to a decade low after the sportswear giant forecast a surprise drop in its fourth quarter sales. US government bonds opened the second quarter on a downbeat note on Wednesday, after a round of data pointed to the resilience of the world's largest economy and reinforced expectations the Federal Reserve will keep interest rates higher for longer. Private employment rose by 62,000 jobs in March, underscoring steady labour market gains, after an upwardly revised increase of 66,000 in February. US retail sales also showed renewed strength in February, lifted by a rebound in vehicle purchases. Sales climbed 0.6% after a revised 0.1% slip in January, exceeding expectations for a 0.5% rise. The US 10-year Treasury yield was up 2 points to 4.33%, while the US 2-year Treasury yield was up 1 point to 3.81%. To the European markets now, the continent-wide FTSE Euro First 300 index ended 2.5% higher, and the UK FTSE 100 gained 1.9%. Europe jumped on Wednesday on hopes for an Iran war resolution. It was led by a 5.9% jump in defence shares and a 4.5% gain in heavyweight banks. Airline stocks received a boost from the drop in oil prices, with shares of Air France and Lufthansa jumping 8.9% and 8% respectively. Now it's time for our watch list. So what are we watching today? In Australia, economic data includes the goods trade balance for February. Many ASX companies will make dividend payments today, including Auckland Airport, AMP, A2 Milk, Woolworths, AUB, TPG Telecom, Ampol and Super Retail. In the US, weekly unemployment claims are scheduled, with 211,000 tipped. That's it for today. For further developments on the local trading session, please tune into the CommSec Market Update podcast this afternoon and, of course, the Market Close video. Have a great day and long weekend.